Me hearties, welcome back yet again. Around here in Never Never Land, Red Pirate Myth, never ceases to be Christmas. That's right. We've got yet more loot that we've managed to pillage. And this stuff, oh yes, it's bling. Yes, it's bling. Have a look with me. You'll like it. I know you will.
Okay, so what we have here, what you're looking at, is the chain plates and other assorted bits of stainless steel that I had manufactured, but I had to have them polished. Well, now they've been polished, and my, do they ever look good. Observe. We will unpack just like it was Christmas Day. Now, I don't know about you, but it never occurred to me that stainless steel was fragile, but that's the way it came back from the polishing place, marked fragile. Let's see what we got. Very, very nice. Yes, indeed. It's the same grade of stainless that came off the boat, but I had the extra tangs welded on the end because apparently this point here is a weak point on the chain plates. Now, some folks like to have their stainless steel in a mirror-like finish. This is obviously not mirror-like, and that's okay because this was cut. It was a plasma cutter that cut this from a 4x8 plate steel, and the roughness that you see here is called scale. And I could have taken the time to sand it down with a power sander or something and make it look pretty, but I didn't think that was really necessary. It's just a chain plate. I don't need a mirror on the outside of my boat. And the time that it was taken to do that, I just don't think it's worth it. If I had a shop where I had a tool specially designed for polishing, I probably would, but I don't. So keeping costs down is important. There you have it. These 6 pieces here are the chain plates for the shrouds. These 4 places are the whisker stay tangs. This is the stem tang that'll sit on the bow up underneath the bowsprit. And this is the boomkin plate. This is actually original equipment, but it had seen better days, I suppose you could say. So I thought, why not have it polished as well? As you can see, it is not mirror finished. You can see the flaws in that. So I think if the original had flaws, then the new stuff isn't going to look out of place. And considering the level of gloss on it, put that away. It's really good, and keep it safe until we're ready to mount it on the boat, which will be after I have it painted, which will happen after I put the seacocks in, which we have in the storage locker. So we are making some good progress. Much happiness indeed. Let's get busy with the wood, shall we? Yesterday, I epoxied a few select pieces of teak just to see how that would work out. And I also did 2 faces of the bowsprit. The epoxy has hardened, cured, whatever. And it's actually kind of surprising. I thought, oh, it's a little bit soft in there. It looks and feels like varnish, but apparently it's not varnish, it is epoxy. And I'm really hoping that the epoxy found its way down into those cracks and sealed that up. So today I'm going to do the other 2 sides and probably more of the teak. And once I've run out of space to apply epoxy, I am going to get to work on my boomkin. I have to drill the holes, but now that I've got my stainless steel plate, I can reassemble the boomkin pieces and do that. So off to the races. I thought it would be interesting to do a comparison, the old steel chain plates versus the new ones. So I dug a couple of the old ones out, and I will show you the difference. That's an old one. It's one of the whisker stay tangs, and that's one of the new ones. In comparison, pretty comparable in terms of shiny. The only difference between these guys is the little tab that I had custom welded on the end for strengthening purposes. So there doesn't actually appear to be anything wrong with these old tangs, but crevice corrosion, you just can't see it. So better safe than sorry. If I plan to go offshore, I want to be able to sleep at night without worrying about my hardware. This is the bigger of the pieces. This is the chain plate for the shrouds. And as you can see, this one is actually polished up much higher finish than the new ones that I've got. Here's one of the new ones for comparison. See a very clear difference there, but I'm not concerned about it. These are structural pieces, not really cosmetic. The scale from the original plate isn't going to be a big deal. I was concerned about the carriage bolt size. The guy that cut the holes for the carriage bolts said they were a little undersized, so I cleaned up one of the old carriage bolts and did a test fit. Fine. So I am well pleased with all of my bits and pieces that I have had made. If you go to the Westsail parts.com, complete set of plates, just one of these bad boys cost you $120. I'm sure it would have a mirror finish on it, but I don't think the mirror finish is worth what they're charging. I paid $150 for all of this. It would be closer to $1,000 if I had bought this commercially. So I think I'm farther ahead. I think it looks just fine, and I'm looking forward to getting back on the boat. Now, in other news, I've been playing with the seacocks and flanges. This is the 1.5 inch version, flange and seacock, and they appear to fit properly, but you can only get about 3 turns before it stops. Feels like it's running in there the way it's supposed to, but I suspect that threading is mismatched. Same applies for the 3/4 inch. To start with, they fit just proper. Like so. And they go in so deep, and they just stop. And if you look down the throat of the seacock itself, you can see that there's a gap where the flange doesn't fit all the way up and seat properly. The same is true of the 1.5 inch. Might even be even easier to see here. You can still see threads in there. So I'm kind of concerned about that. I don't think that all that thread is supposed to be shown on the outside. So I don't know whether I've got the wrong flange or the wrong seacock, but I intend to find out. So today's work has been mainly sealing. We've been using the penetrating epoxy on my teak and on the bowsprit. Bowsprit, I've got 4 sides covered now. I can only do 2 at a time because you'd be putting wet side down on something if you tried to do more than that, which I didn't want to do. Got the cap rails all done. You can see they're spread all over the shop. I've got them sitting here and there and there and everywhere. Because my little workbench here just isn't big enough to lay them all out beside each other. I also sealed off the ends of the boomkin. I was going to actually do a test fit of the boomkin today and drill the deck ready for the bolts. But I thought before I do that, I should at least seal the ends of the Douglas fir. So I did that. It can wait. The drilling can wait, that is. So yes, the weather is coming in. I don't know if it's going to rain or not. So the wind is picking up, which makes it kind of a little dicey for working on the boat outside. As the rain comes down, I've got it all opened up. The inside of the boat gets all wet. Come on out. So that's what I'm going to do. It's about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I've got company waiting at home. I'm expecting to be home, so I think I might call it an early day and